hello to YouTube. It's video time. So, here's the deal. I watched the American Gladiator reboot, so you don't have to. But the good news is, by the end of this presentation, you will know if it's something that you want to watch. Fessy, who flipped? Exactly. Let's whip it out. Boom, shakalaka. Today we will be discussing American Gladiator, worth it or not, okay? Mayhem, yes, not Fessy, but mayhem. All right. American Gladiator is like WWE meets like reality TV meets American Ninja Warrior. That's kind of the vibe presented in American Gladiator. I think that's the best way to explain it. And how it works is you have the contenders versus the gladiators. They enter the arena, and it is a showdown between the contestants. How it works is you do multiple competitions against the gladiators to score points. There's 2 contenders in each episode for like the men's and women's division. And this to me is like dad TV. My dad watched American Gladiator growing up. That's my connection to it. Like this to me is like a show that your dad watches. Like Bering Seagull. You're like, it's interesting when you watch it, but you're like, this was built for dads who want to self-regulate in the living room by themselves, you know? And pretty much you have the contenders. They're going through various competitions against the gladiators to score points. And then at the end of the episode, it's like all the points are totaled and it translates to a head start between the 2 people who are going through an obstacle course. Oh yeah, the 2009 one is what I'm familiar with. Doing research, I found the 80s one and I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. But pretty much it's like an obstacle course where you jump over a thing, then you crawl under a thing, then you jump over a thing, then you crawl under a thing, and then you climb up a thing, and then you got a rope and you slide across the thing, and then you run up a thing, and then there's a treadmill in reverse, and it's just a race to the finish. If you do it the fastest, you make it to the next round, where then you compete against another person. The winner of that goes into the finals, and then the finals has the most broken format you've ever seen in your life. Makes no sense. It's like the final 3, they made it through their divisions. Then they do one competition. The person who doesn't score a point just gets eliminated. Titan Games, yes. Is that the one with The Rock? It was Wipeout for Muscle Mommies. Carly, I love that. No fire, but I'm sure there's a gladiator named like Fire, Flames. This is our agenda. Okay, we're gonna talk about the history. We'll talk about this season's contestants, the gladiators, the games themselves, my spin-off idea, and the verdict. All right? This show was started in the 80s, and it is that familiarity that I think makes it worth bringing back. You know, if there's nostalgia for 2006, it's like, okay, I don't know if we need to watch. We don't need to watch something that doesn't have like a long, like, history. A squint-off is incredible. But when you have B-roll like this, what's up, Hellabella? Say hello to YouTube. But when you have background B-roll footage of this, that familiarity, I think, is a like recipe for bringing it back. There's no way. And so pretty much, it's like the contestants back in the 80s, it'd be like a school teacher from Dallas. And it's like they're competing against a literal like god. But okay, sure. And then now it's like powerlifters, stuntmen, YouTubers, stuff like that. And it's that history that is like, it feels like there's lore. Some of the like gladiators have like their names were passed down, which is very neat, very cool. And it to me makes it like worth watching. And then speaking of the history of the show, one of the contestants they have shares his experience where he tried to get on the show as a gladiator. He had all this cool like footage of him as like a karate like dude, and a lot of the people were like either saying it was my dream to be on this show for the older contestants, and then for the younger contestants, they grew up watching the show with their families or they're living out the dream for their dad. Like, that lore is fun. It's why we root for super fans on Big Brother and Survivor, because the show has lived long enough that it's like created a generation. And so, I don't know, I like the in-house lore. And so, yeah, I just really appreciate it. Our challengers, in theory, they're the reason that you care. And it's much like Big Brother. They introduce contestants, and it's like you get a quick like, my name is Quinn, I'm from Lawton, Oklahoma, the Shady 580, and I'm a Twitch streamer. And then intercut and all that is me doing push-ups and shit, and then I'm like, I was a dual sport collegiate athlete, and I'm ready to give these gladiators what they deserve. It's time to bully them a little bit. You know, stuff like that. Yeah, I fell off, and then I got back into it. And some of the contestants this season, they have a pole vaulter, and his story is really funny because he was a high school athlete, pole vaulter, and he's got a temper. And his lore, the subject for his pain, is that, he cost his high school team the state championship pole vaulting because he lost his temper. You do have to shout out the Shady 580. Casting loves that shit. They love it. Especially like when I tell people that Lawton is like the 4th worst place to raise a child in the nation in a 2019 study, people are like, what the fuck? I'm like, it's a shithole. But it's our shithole. Yeah, I thought it was very funny. And then they have this YouTuber who is polyamorous. He gets a full polyamory, like segment, which I just love. I for one, can't get over how funny it is, because it didn't really make that much sense to like the subject of the show. 5th worst for crimes against women. Shit. Fuck. And then what's his bucket? The one senator is like, we're climbing the rankings. And I'm like, in all the worst ways. But no, it's so interesting because, okay, also they have a live announcer, right? Like he's the sports broadcaster. In some ways it feels like he's in front of a green screen. He's definitely there. Like, what's it called? It's like he's definitely there and he's casting the show, but my favorite part is with the polyamory bit. He's like, Ben's fiance and her girlfriend is there. Interesting situation. Let's hear about it. And it's like, what the fuck? I loved it. Very open-minded. I'm happy that this type of story and broadcasting is being pushed out. It's helpful. I think in like, you know, leaving people. My curls look good. Thank you. Thank you so much. I had a job interview today. Waste of my time. Once again. Interview that's not an interview, but a scam. My favorite contestant, I don't remember his name, but he's like one of the actors in what he's one of the actors in the Waterworld thing, which here pretty soon I'm gonna be going to Universal again, because you know you got to get your money's worth. So I will be forcing Haley into going with me to this show. He's like one of the stuntmen. He's like a bad guy, and my favorite DR that he gives is he's beaten up and he's like, just because I'm a bad guy at work doesn't mean I'm a bad person in real life. And I was like, yo, this guy's carrying a lot of weight on his chest, and I think we should all be really nice. We have Sierra from Survivor Game Changers, which I didn't recognize her for being on Survivor. I recognized her husband, Joe Anglem, who is like super canceled and lives in Utah now. Like Joe Anglem, he's like QAnon. He used the N-word, like on Survivor, and it didn't get caught on like camera or anything, but he said it like with like the other contestants, and they were like, hey man, that's like really fucked up, like you shouldn't say that. And then he like got super defensive about it, and then it like ruined his life because he decided that was like the hill he was gonna die on. Instead of like apologizing and trying to like make an effort to like do the right thing, he then got super defensive. Erica Kirk, that's right. Erica Kirk was at their wedding as it's a groom's lady. This isn't even like, I'm not doing a bit. They are close friends with Erica Kirk. And they're on this show. It's insane. No. There's literal photos of Erica Kirk like on his Instagram, and she's like a part of the wedding party at their wedding. It's so crazy. And what's insane is Sierra is like really athletic. They never acknowledge that her husband is like the super problematic racist guy. She crushes all the competitions. What's up? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Say hello to YouTube. She crushes it. But then through like some divine like justice, she gets eliminated by someone who just works in an office. I think she said she was an accountant. And I'm not kidding. This lady was not good at any of the challenges. None of the competitions. Like truly, like to the point where I was like questioning, I was like, I'm curious how she got on this show. If you're asking my professional diagnosis, I'm willing to bet that they had some weaker competitors meant to alley-oop their stars, i.e. someone who's been on Survivor before. You know, they want them in a second episode, you know, in the semifinals or whatever it's called, or the quarterfinals. And so they put her up against this accountant who is bad at everything, just not very athletic. Great personality, she's great. I'm just being honest. Not athletic. It comes down to the final, like, that relay race I was telling you, where you gotta jump over the thing, then you crawl under the thing, and then you climb up the ladder, and then you do whatever. Sierra has a crazy lead. She was taken out by the liberal agenda. We got him. She's winning the entire time. She then gets to the reverse treadmill. And I don't know what it is, if she was just burnt out. I have no clue. What's up, Michael Areer? We are talking about American Gladiator reboot, on whether or not you should watch it. And Sierra is on this season, who is married to Joe Anglim, who got kind of out. He like was outed as a racist and is close personal friends with Erica Kirk. She loses in like a truly like mind-boggling like the accountant who has lost everything, has been bad at everything. She gets up the like reverse treadmill. I swear to God, she was there 20 minutes after Sierra was like tried her first. She's like, shit, okay, I'm ready. Let me try to run up this this reverse treadmill. Gets it and then makes it to the next round. And I feel like in the stadium, you can't help but be like, well, all right, that's our champion. And so yeah, my favorite contestants were the polyamorous YouTuber, and the guy that works on the Waterworld, like show in Universal. Let's get into the gladiators. These three were my favorite gladiators. We had the Bull, Mayhem, and Steel. Steel is, as we all know, Jesse Goddard's from Big Brother 10 and 11. And we saw his, I think, canonically his father. The polyamorous you say... Polyamorous you say? See, this show is nothing but woke, yeah. It's kind of lit, and it's like presented in a very non-judgmental way, and I was like, this is kind of awesome. Jesse, we canonically met his like father, Pretty Boy, in this last episode of Big Brother. Fessy, aka Mayhem, I'm not kidding, is the Dr. Will of the Gladiators. He is good at everything. He is good TV. He is just on a complete different level than everyone he can, like, competes against. Jesse, I really want Jesse to go. Yeah. It's like the names become who they are. It's like, in my head, I like to imagine that they're possessed by the spirit of the American Gladiator at which their name reflects. So, like, while Jesse probably, I don't know if you've seen the movie Obsession, but it's like, I'm sure Jesse is in there watching the mayhem, destruction, murder that Steel is delivering onto these contestants. Did you like it, Christine? I thought that movie was awesome. Mayhem, though, is the Dr. Will. He will be on every season until Fessy feels like he doesn't belong. No. I promise you, Mayhem, aka Fessy, is so good. And you can see him build up his confidence, and he like talks shit to the contenders, and it is impressive. Like, he does a very, very, very good job. He should be so proud of himself. He fucks them up. It's like kind of not even fair. And it's really funny because after like the first challenge, Mayhem takes a look in the mirror and he goes, wait, I can't be fucked with. I think that like initially maybe he was a little bit nervous. His first time being possessed. Like, you know, he's like, this is new to me. Maybe I'm a little nervous with the crowd and playing it up and like grunting at the screen. He grunts at the screen an awful lot. And then by that first challenge, when he realizes that he can just like beat up all these people, he gets so confident and he really comes into his own. And he is like the leader of the Gladiators. I'm not even kidding. Steel is like the badass, like specialty player. He has this one moment where the challenge itself, they're way up in the sky, okay? And it's like these pathways in the shape of like diamonds is like whatever. You follow the paths, and Jesse straight up, or Steel straight up, leaps across whatever, tangles up around this dude, and then they plummet to the earth. Like going 60 miles per hour, 60,000 miles per hour. It's insane. It was like really cool. Steel, it takes him a second to get into it, but he's like a specialty player. Mayhem is like the crusher of will, the leader of the gladiators, and the true disturbance causer. Like, if you get paired up with Mayhem, you're kind of cooked. And then the Bull was my favorite outside of these two. I felt like he had the most personality. He got funnier and funnier as the episodes went along. He's really good. And yeah, I think he's just like high energy. He's jacked. He beats people up. And I like that he looks like he's friends with Mayhem. I think it's very sweet. Rick Boogs. Does he speak in a Western accent? No. At one point, he's talking about a train. He's like, the bull is a category, whatever. Choo, 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 choo. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't watch WWE. I kind of missed that, like, as a kid. I was into superheroes, not WWE. But he's really funny. I like it, you know? They also have this guy, Fang, who isn't allowed to talk. And I think it would be very funny. It would be very funny to me, or hurtful, if I get brought onto this TV show and they're like, oh man, what if, I don't know, you didn't talk? What if your whole thing was that we didn't have to hear your voice or thoughts? His whole character, Hella Bella, is him just going, that is all he serves. And my feelings would be hurt so bad. Like, I would be so hurt if they're like, no, everyone else, we're gonna ask him, like, Bull, what did you think? And then the Bull's like, I had him in my sights and I ripped him to shreds. Fang! And then Fang goes, it's just like, oh, okay. He's kind of like a, hooray, I'm gonna rip their heads off. It's like, what the fuck? It's really good. Yeah, they're all jacked as fuck, Cassie, in a way that I'm like, they're all on steroids. His gladiator spirit doesn't know English. Yes, he's possessed by a Tasmanian devil, and then he's just like, Ray. And it's really a shame. It is such a shame. I think that there's a chance that if you got on, you'd be able to tame the Fang by like speaking to him a little bit. Like, I truly think that you could calm him down. The competitions are fun, but here's the one problem. We get the same competitions across like 4 episodes. You have seen every single competition that they are going to do until the finale. So for example, if you don't like it when they do the Q-tip like thing, then you're just kind of forced to witness it. This competition is where it's like you're holding onto one side and then you gotta pull it and get the other person to let go or fall off the mat. If you don't like that, then you're just not gonna like the episode, you know? It's pretty fun. Like, I think that this, in my verdict later on, I'll talk about this, but like, if you're benching it, it gets old fast, is what I'll say. And then you do a, like, at the end of the competition, where it's like you're climbing up a rock wall, and then one of the gladiators is after you. You get a 5-second head start, boom, 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 gladiator gets you, rips you down. Some of them, like my favorite, they have like these rings, and you like swing across, and so you have these gigantic people somehow holding up their weight, and their job is to stop you from getting to the other side. If you get to the other side, I think you get like 15 points. If you're able to just hold on and stay up in the air, you get 10 points. My other favorite one is like you run from each side. Where's the...
This is his bucket list.
Okay. Well, we'll watch this one. Actually, we'll do this. And they're like pushing it to the limit of like, this one's cool where you have a ball. Godspeed. Bex, thank you so much for tuning in. You saying goodbye to YouTube is fun. Enjoy your D&D. I love where they have to get a ball and they run across a rickety bridge and the gladiators roll out to hit them. Let's watch this. This is kind of what they do. Let's do this. Let's do this. This is what they do at the end when it's like a time trial. This is the polyamorous YouTuber.
This is his bucket list, an appearance on American Gladiators. He's got the lead, headed down to the balance beam. Michael, just a second behind. If you fall off, you have to restart. Bobby has the edge, looking neck and neck. Michael Moralia goes quickly. It comes down to the treble.
These two are like the best of all the competitors, and it's a shame.
And he's gonna do it. Michael Moralia, a remarkable comeback.
Let's go, Michael!
Or no, it's the next
You just
one.
completed the Eliminator. How you feeling?
Oh my God! What a thrilling run!
He later on, this is just like
This is
my
his bucket
complaint.
list, an appearance on American.
My complaint about the show is that it's like, well, the best competitors sometimes get put against one another, and that's not very fair. IMO, you know? How is this doing that? Oh, that is one element that they kind of struggle with. It's funny, they cast these contenders, and then if they do a good job, it's so funny because they aren't contributing to the show. Like, for them, the show is them competing. They're not ready to be on the mic and be like, and cut a promo or whatever. And so it's so funny. It'll be like, if Tim Gross and I competed, hey, if we competed and then I get done, it's like the worst TV thing would be me sitting on the mic and I go, you know, Tim Gross is a cool guy and I appreciated competing against him. That is a standard response from the contenders. What I should be saying is like, I think Tim grossly overestimated his ability to go against the kid, all right? I might be new in town, but I'm the new mayor. Get out of my city, dork. What are we talking about? I'm the best there's ever been. Like, you gotta do something cool. And that's what, like, I think that they should coach people for season 2 on the Revival series. I think you gotta, like, coach them up where you're like, hey, this is your chance to talk shit. This is your moment. Like, get out there and work. And just not a lot of it usually ends with them saying like, oh, what a thrilling run, that was crazy. I think I would be so funny, like they're doing the rock climbing, I'd be like, I'm not gonna lie, I pooped my pants a little bit today. Look at those mutated freaks, they were chasing after me. Fang doesn't even like speak a human language. He's in grunts and growls, it's breathing down my neck. I was terrified, but it only made me faster. Like, you gotta be funny, I feel like, on the mic, but we can't expect that from people. It's season 1 of the revival. Maybe we'll get some better shit talkers in the future. My hilarious idea, this is my slept on favorite element of the show. They would, every once in a while, cut to the Gladiator locker room. And it would be like Mayhem, Steel, and the Bull. And this is very clearly edited in post, or they got the B-roll footage, whatever. They're all in a locker room like this, in their uniforms, arms crossed, watching the show. And so, me saying Tim grossly overestimated whatever, the announcer would be like, oh, even the Gladiators watching them in the locker room, they're not gonna like that. And then it's them in the locker room being like, pissed, shaking their head disapprovingly. And so what I would like to see is a like sitcom from the perspective of the Gladiators. I would like a mockumentary of the day-to-day life, where it's just like an 80s workout montage, like Baywatch, you know, what is it, Rocky Balboa, like them all working out together, being best friends, and from their perspective, there's these like bad people, contenders, and it just really personalizes them, and I want them all to stay in character. And I think it'd be so funny of like, we just hear about the life of the Gladiators. I think that to me would be the funniest use of IP, is we get a mini sitcom series detailing the lives of like them 80s workout, like rollerblading. The Bull like is learning how to shave his mustache from Steel. Like, I think that would be so fun. These are some of the other, like, Ace is like just their young hot guy. That's like the whole thing, is that he's like the young hot guy. And it's also like the lady Gladiators are so much more like effective. They make way less mistakes than the dudes do. Like Crush, Huntress, and this was Hurricane. What was this lady's name? Super something. They like were fucking them up. The poor challengers on the women's end were outmatched in a way that felt illegal. It was like not even close. Supernova, thank you. My favorite, it was like Huntress, Hurricane, and then it was like Supernova, no, who was it? They had their team of 3, and they called themselves the Fright Club instead of Fight Club. They're their Fright Club, and I was like, that is a perfectly apt name. Ace looks like clavicular. That is 1,000,000% what they're going for, and it's so cute. He calls his fan base. He was like, shout out to my little spades out there, and it's like all like middle school girls. It's like, what I like about this show is that it shows up as if like the lore has existed for a millennia, and I really appreciate it. The Miz is the host with some lady, but he is like definitely like the face of the show. It's kind of like, I don't know if anyone has ever seen that one show 99 to Beat, where it's like Ken Jeong is like the host, and then there's Erin. She's like a host, but Ken is like the face of the show. That is the Miz here. And the Miz is very fun, and I like that he gets hyped up when someone does something cool and they get through like the race. He's like screaming into the microphone, and he's like, you just qualified for the finals. How do you feel? And he's like getting in their face, and I'm like, I'm not kidding. Aaron Andrews, yeah. If The Miz was grabbing me and shaking me and be like, I'd be able to run through a brick wall. I would be so hyped. Are you kidding me? It's so lit. And he does a really good job. And there's a slept on moment. I can't think of what the referee's name is, but The Miz always introduces the referees, and he's like, as always, the match will be officiated by so-and-so, so-and-so. Goes to the main guy, whenever you're ready. And then that main referee, I think his name is like Chase or something. I can't think. Or Chad, maybe. He then starts officiating. It's like, I really love to imagine that The Miz and the head referee or center referee are best friends. That's in my head, when we get the sitcom exploring the dynamics of all the people on the show, it's like, I want them getting like coffee together and dinner and lunch and stuff like that. While all the gladiators are working out, it's like The Miz and the referee talking about like who knows what. In general, I would say that the show is worth watching. It's not too long. The episodes, like the season itself, I think is 10 to 12 episodes long. It's not an hour and a half per episode. It's like 38 to 45 minutes per episode. The format's straight to the point. It's interesting watching. I like to like cheer on the gladiators, which is maybe it's kind of like I watch this and I'm rooting for the bad guys. It's kind of like watching, if you were to watch like Spider-Man, you're like, I am low-key hoping that the Green Goblin like does something cool here. I watch it from the perspective of the gladiators, and every once in a while I'm cheering on the contenders, but that's my favorite way to watch the show. And then I would say the only weakness of this show is that it's not worth binging. If you listen to today's presentation and you're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna watch this show. I'm gonna turn it on. It's on Amazon Prime. I'm gonna tune in. Do not binge it. This is not a show that you binge at all. Like I binged it before Haley got back from her like girls trip, and by the third episode in a row, I was having a miserable time. Ace looks like a looks maxer. That is kind of the vibe he gives. And you know what's funny? Ace is like a younger guy. He's kind of ass at the competitions. He's not very good. But he gets called up multiple times, and I think it's because his, like, you know, the spirit of Ace is, like, a pretty interesting, like, category, whatever. And so it's, like, it's kind of funny that he's kind of bad. There's a guy named the Eagle or something, and they, like, really want us to, like, whatever. And I'm like, I don't know that man. He was introduced halfway through. I don't know this gladiator. But yeah, the show is not bingeable. By episode 3, like I said, they do the same competitions, and the end of every episode is the exact same from the premiere to the season finale. It is the same obstacle course. I think that the like, what's it called? I think that the final competition should be like an even longer, more insane version of the obstacle course, because it's anticlimactic for them to do the competition that they've done now 3 different times. It's just not as cool, or 2 different times. Just not as cool. But this is an element that I wanted to speak on. The show is good. The production is good. But I want tickets. This is such a cool, like, it would be so much fun to make Mayhem and Steel posters and show up to a live filming of American Gladiator. This looks like so much fun. It's awesome. And it's like, I'm pretty sure it films in like, it has to be just maximum 3 days, but I'm pretty confident that it's 2. But it is so lit. Like, I was watching and I was like, to get the proper amount of joy, I put myself in the headspace that I was there in person, and it made it so freaking cool, and it was so much fun. I loved it. I would highly recommend people watch it. Just don't binge it. And with that, that's the end of my presentation. Do we have any questions? There was one crazy part. Yeah, I would say maximum 2 episode day. That's my prescription. It is max 2 episodes a day. Or if you watch 1 when you wake up, 2 when you go to sleep, it's like, okay, a little bit better. Yeah, this is like a fun, I think I was like, I was like applying for jobs while I watched this. I've had this pin for a minute. I'm gonna see if I can put it somewhere cool on my hoodie. Boom. Keep that up. Is that cool? Is that tough? Hello? Yeah, no one OD on the show. It's very, very dangerous. Big Waffle, what's up? I also wanted to say, there's an alternate guy, and it's so interesting because one of the contenders, he like gets hurt instantly, and they had to bring someone on like after the first game, and I was like, oh my god, that's something I didn't consider, is like, this is a live filming. Well done, Quinn, this is a lot of fun. Now I'm gonna watch it. Hell yeah. Everyone tune in to the reality miniverse coverage of the American Gladiator reboot. It was so good. Like, I truly think it was awesome. I hope more people watch it. Yeah, that concludes today's presentation. Thank you all so much. Like and subscribe.